Consciousness, the myths tell us, is nature's crown, and yet for us the crown is all thorns. Norman Austin, an under-celebrated mind of our time, wrote this brilliant statement over 3 decades ago. In the West, the story of consciousness starts with the Garden of Eden. At its center is a tree bearing fruit that confers knowledge of good and evil, in other words, awareness of opposites. This represents the original separation between known and knower. It's the place where intellect was birthed from instinct. All life forms were enmeshed in a matrical web. Instinct was their guiding force, but when intellect was born, it opted to take over. Nature and instinct were no longer to be trusted. Banished from an instinctual paradise, the intellect now wanders in a desolate place, Austin tells us, searching for itself, but finding only the other. And at the root of all scientific motivation is the intellect's quest for its origin. Science comes from the word sire, which means to know or to see. The words conscience or conscious include the prefix con, which means with or together. Consciousness thus means to see with, or to know with. It implies the existence of a cooperative other. The etymology shows that science is by nature a one-sided pursuit of knowledge. Newtonian and quantum mechanics, the most recent fruits of this quest, yield a world made up of incomprehensibly tiny particles. Upon scrutiny by the intellect, the world frustratingly breaks into pieces. No unifying scheme of the universe seems at hand. A clue to this is in the etymology of the word science. Revealing, yes, but only to a limited degree because it lacks withness and therefore is ever incomplete. Reality will never surrender itself to science because science attempts to objectify it perfectly, to see it standing naked for inspection. But reality is not objectifiable because its very occurrence requires the co-conspiring of both subject and object. This other that consciousness seeks was instinct in the Garden of Eden, the invisible force that guides all creatures and rules over experience. All religions seek to unify their adherence with this force, and they call it God, and it is now all but totally repressed by the intellect. In its first moment in the garden, consciousness dismembers from the other and is forced to wander through an exterior desert east of Eden. In its final moment, parched from its journey, consciousness finds the promised land and drinks from the fountain of youth. It remembers itself with and as the other, returning home as the prodigal son does. Over and over again on the wheel of existence, it forgets, searches, and finally finds itself. The myth of Eden, then, is a cipher to jump our minds over the distraction of ego abstraction, ego consciousness, to an epiphany of full return. The crown of consciousness has been laid upon our heads. It is the pinnacle experience of the universe. All of its sheer beauty, power, sophistication, and magnitude culminates in consciousness. This is it. But all things come with a cost, a sacrifice, a suffering, and we are those sacrificial lambs. We are the ones, like it or not, saddled with the burden, subjected and bonded to materiality, loss, time, and death, so that consciousness may shine forth in all its glory. We are its kindling.